Hey friends, it's David again, and in today's video I want to help you make the tough decision of choosing the exact tow vehicle you're going to want to get to tow your travel trailer or fifth wheel with. Now I know just how hard this decision can be because there are so many different options to choose from when deciding on what type of truck to buy, like the cab length, the bed length, the model year, the drive type, two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, the size of the truck, whether it's half-ton, three-quarter ton, or 1 ton, whether it's a dually or a standard four-wheel truck, the fuel type, be it gasoline or diesel, whether your truck is going to have a bed liner or something that covers the bed like a tonneau cover or a camper shell, and then of course what kind of tires it's going to have. I'm also going to let you guys know why we chose this exact truck to tow our travel trailer with all of its options and specifications. And so my goal by the end of this video is for you guys to have a better idea of the exact type of truck you want to get to tow your travel trailer or fifth wheel. The first option we'll discuss is cab length. And you might be tempted to just buy the largest cab you can, which for Chevrolet, the brand of truck that I have, that is the crew cab. And, you know, that has the, 2 rows of seating, and the back seat area is pretty much just as large as the front area. But if, that's just your knee-jerk reaction, because you think you might need the space or you want passengers in the back to potentially be as comfortable as you are in the front, you might not actually need that, and getting a longer cab length, you need to keep in mind, will cause your entire truck to be longer, which could come back to bite you if you're going to be doing a lot of exploring through the national forests, or if you want to be able to maneuver through tighter campgrounds, especially national park campgrounds where there's just really not very much room. Having like an extended cab truck with a long bed is going to make your entire rig length so much longer. And sorry, Alice just bumped right into my arm, pushed the camera over. So Ro and I had that in mind when we were shopping for trucks. And also crew cab is going to be more expensive than extended cab, which is what we have, where the back row of seats is, it exists, but it's like it's scrunched down quite a bit. And then both of those are going to be more expensive than standard cab as well. So, if money's not an option, you don't really have to worry about that. But if you're on a budget like we were, then you might want to take those things into consideration to maybe save some money. We wanted to optimize all of our, Allie, what are you doing? We wanted to optimize all of our options to, fit what we were going to be encountering most often. And so we needed a second row of seats for our animals. We have Sweetie, our dog, we have 2 cats, and we also have 2 rabbits. And so we needed a place for all of them to go while we were traveling. So we couldn't go with a standard cab, which is where you just have the front row of seats. We needed at least extended or crew cab, but we knew that a crew cab wasn't necessary because, it's just Ro and I as far as people goes, and all of our pets could fit in the back with an extended cab. And we wanted our truck to have enough room to fit what we needed to fit, but not be super long so that our truck wasn't longer than necessary. Another extremely important option to consider is the bed length. And many times there are 3 options. You've got a long bed, a standard bed, and a short bed. Ro and I chose a long bed because, we have a travel trailer. So we knew that we wouldn't have a lot of excess storage, especially since our travel trailer is not very long. It's 24.5 feet long, and we're full-time RVers. So we wanted a lot of storage. And so we got a long bed pickup truck so that we could store a lot of our stuff that could, it didn't matter if it stayed clean or anything like that. We could store it in the bed of our truck, combine that with a camper shell, and you've got a ton of extra storage, just so much. And a long bed pickup truck also gives you more stability while towing because your front wheels and your rear wheels are further apart. And so any shaking in the trailer is not going to transmit up to shaking in the truck as much either. However, the long bed pickup truck is kind of a pain. Well, I shouldn't say kind of a pain, it's a huge pain when we are trying to get into tighter spots, when we are exploring through the national forests and, there's some tight turns, and then especially when we are in the city for those rare occasions when we are downtown. It has happened a few times where we head into the city, the long bed pickup truck is just impossible to park because, the parking spots on the side of the road in cities just aren't very long. But, like I said earlier, we are optimizing for the situations that we're going to encounter the most often. And so we knew storage was the most important thing for us, so we went with a long bed. Another extremely important option is fuel type. Whether or not you're going to have a gasoline-powered truck or a diesel-powered truck. And I see people get this one wrong a lot. And I do know that diesels are a lot more expensive and a lot harder to find. But if you're going to be regularly towing, and especially if you're going to be full-time RVing, a travel trailer that is about the size of ours or bigger, or a fifth wheel that is, probably longer than 30 feet, trust me guys, it's a no-brainer. Get a diesel. You will not regret this decision. It is more expensive. I know for our truck, our truck when we bought it was worth about $18,000, and its comparable gasoline-powered truck would probably have only been like $10,000 or $12,000. So yeah, it's a big cost increase. But when you're towing up steep inclines, it's like the travel trailer's not even back there. The diesel just handles it so easily. And then what's even more important, in my opinion, is when you're going downhill. The diesel engine has such a high compression ratio that when you get off of the accelerator pedal, it will drag down the speed of your vehicle so much that even on fairly steep grades going downhill, it slows your rig down, whereas a gasoline powered truck is just gonna, speed up and tear down that hill, and you're gonna have to be hitting the brakes constantly. When we're going downhill, we rarely have to touch our brakes. I just get off the pedal, and the truck's engine slows the rig down or keeps it at speed at highway or interstate speeds. Also, diesels are way more reliable. You can typically get over 300,000 miles easy out of a diesel engine before, major repairs need to be done to the internals in the engine, whereas gasoline-powered engines just don't last nearly as long. If you're going to be going with a diesel truck, this next consideration is pretty big too, and that's the model year that you're going to get. Now, I don't really know about the differences in model years of the gasoline line, but for diesel, for Chevrolets in 2007, and I think it was 2006 for Dodge, and I'm not sure where it was with Ford, but they started putting diesel particulate filters on their trucks, which, require regeneration, and it's just another thing to go wrong on those. It's going to need to be replaced eventually, and it's not cheap at all. And then later on, I believe it was around 2011-ish, don't quote me on that, the diesels started to require DEF fuel. And DEF fluid. And Ro and I didn't want to deal with that either. So we knew that we wanted to get a Chevrolet truck diesel between the years of 2004 and a half and 2007, because those ones don't have the diesel particulate filter and they don't require DEF fluid. And yeah, we just didn't want to deal with that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we wanted that very specific model year range also. And, when you're searching for trucks, you're definitely going to want to do some research, and search specifically, like problems with 2012 Ford trucks, you know, or for whatever model year you're thinking about getting, you're going to want to search for the typical issues with that specific model year, because there's always something, it seems. There's always some type of issue that is extremely common in those model years, and you're going to want to know that ahead of time so that you can prepare for that, or you might even realize, whoa, that I don't even want to deal with that, which is why, you know, we wanted newer than 2004 and a half, because the model year previous to our truck, it was extremely common for the fuel injectors to go bad. And that's an extremely expensive fix that we never wanted to deal with. They solved that problem at 2004 and a half. And so, yeah, you're just going to want to do that research to avoid some major headaches with some potentially bad model years. Drive type is another important one that, what are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? What are you doing?
I'm interrupting.
I'm trying to film here.
I'm trying to interrupt.
Gosh.
Pay attention to me.
Drive type is another important thing to think about, and it's one that we got wrong, unfortunately. We thought that we weren't really going to need four-wheel drive, and there would be very few instances in when we would need to utilize it, and so we optimized for, you know, being on dry pavement or well-maintained forest roads, and we just got this one way wrong because we have needed four-wheel drive multiple times. We still need four-wheel drive, but our truck doesn't have it, so we just sort of deal with not having it. My recommendation to you guys is that if you're going to be doing a lot of boondocking like we do out in the national forests or out in the deserts, on BLM land, any of that stuff, if you know you're going to be going off-road in the national forests, get four-wheel drive, because you're going to need it eventually, and those times that you need it, it's just going to make your life so much easier. We've gotten our truck stuck multiple times, even on the beaches on the Gulf of Mexico. If you're going to be driving on the beaches, you're going to want four-wheel drive. But if you know that the type of camping you're going to be doing is almost entirely in national parks or state parks, or you're going to be going to, you know, you're going to be staying in RV parks, you're going to be staying on pavement, then get two-wheel drive. You don't need four-wheel drive then. It's just an added cost. It's another thing that's going to go wrong eventually and need maintenance, and it's also going to negatively affect your fuel economy even when you're not in two-wheel or four-wheel drive. When you're in two-wheel drive, there's still an added drag through the driveline that's going to reduce your fuel economy. But yeah, I wish we had four-wheel drive because we are in the national forest all the time, but that's just us. The size, towing capacity, and hauling capacity of your truck is absolutely critical to being safe and being able to actually tow your travel trailer or fifth wheel down the road. And by size, I mean whether you get a half-ton, a three-quarter-ton, or a one-ton pickup truck. And Ro and I went with a three-quarter-ton pickup truck because our travel trailer only weighs 4,500 pounds empty, and so when it's fully loaded, it weighs between 5,500 and 6,000 pounds. A three-quarter-ton pickup diesel is rated to carry tow our travel trailer, and it does it just fine. We could have went with a 1-ton to have even more, you know, safety factor, but we just didn't think that that was necessary, and it has turned out to absolutely not be necessary, because 1-ton pickup trucks are typically heavier and they absolutely cost more. And so when you have a 1-ton pickup truck, your GVWR can actually go down when compared to a three-quarter-ton pickup truck, because like I said, the truck itself is typically heavier. This is one that Ro and I have seen people get wrong a number of times throughout our travels. You know, we see a half-ton pickup truck trying to pull this big, like 35-foot travel trailer, and it just doesn't look good. You've got that huge sag between the two at the hitch point, and the front of the truck is like pulled way up, and that is very dangerous because then your front brakes aren't going to be able to stop the vehicle as well in an emergency condition. So yeah, you even if you have purchased your truck first, and then you decide later on that you want to tow a very heavy travel trailer or fifth wheel, you just need to upgrade trucks. And if you have neither a truck or a trailer and you're looking to get into RVing, pick your travel trailer or fifth wheel first before you buy your truck, because what you want might change and you don't want to lock in the towing capabilities of your tow vehicle before you even decide on what trailer to go with. Another option is whether to get a dually pickup truck or just a standard four-wheel truck. And we went with the standard because, you know, we have a pretty light and small travel trailer, so it's just not necessary. Some people I know are tempted to just get the biggest truck that can handle just about anything, so they go out and they get a 1-ton dually, and then they just don't need it. It's not required to tow the fifth wheel or the travel trailer that they want to. You know, dualies are a lot more expensive. They're a lot wider. And so like just maneuvering around in tight spaces, or when you have to inevitably take that thing into the city, it's just going to be really annoying to, you know, maneuver that large truck around. However, if you are gonna get like a 40-foot fifth wheel, then you know you just need a dually for stuff like that. But yeah, if you're going to be, you know, towing a small travel trailer, dually absolutely not necessary. If you do find out that you need a dually though, you're probably gonna find that shopping for a diesel dually is gonna be a little annoying, because there's not nearly as many of those out there as there are the other truck configurations. Diesels alone, as soon as you click that diesel filter button, like on a car searching website like cars.com or something, your options for available vehicles goes way down, and then dually on top of that does that too. And so you might be forced to compromise in some spots that you didn't want to, but hopefully they don't really matter as much, like maybe the color, the exterior color, or the interior color. That's what we sort of had to do with our truck. I didn't really want a green truck with tan interior, but you know, that was just what was available on the market at the time for a diesel truck with the rest of the configurations we wanted. Once you've got your truck options figured out, you know what you want to get, another consideration you're going to need to make after the purchase is whether you want your truck to have a bed liner, or if you want to cover up the bed with a tonneau cover or with a camper shell. And my recommendation is to get a bed liner of some sort, because if you're going to be, you know, taking this truck out and putting things into the bed regularly, you want to protect it. You don't want to get the truck bed all scratched and dented and have it rust a whole bunch. And thankfully our truck came with a hard plastic truck liner, and we love it. It works perfectly well for us, but there are also, you know, truck liners that can be sprayed on by professionals that are very durable as well, might look cleaner than a plastic liner. And then there's bed covers. We started with a trifold leather tonneau cover that got shredded open by a bear our first couple months out on the road when we were in Vermont, but you know, and that's why we ended up going with the camper shell. But that ended up working out for the best, because we just didn't have nearly as much storage space using the tonneau cover as we now have with the camper shell. And so if you're going to be towing a travel trailer, I do advise getting something to cover your stuff up so that you have more storage space, especially if you're going to be a full-time RVer. If you're full-timing, go with the camper shell for the added storage. You will not regret it. And then the last option to consider is the type of tires that you're gonna have on your truck. And when we bought our truck, it just had typical all-season tires on it, which were fine for us until we started to do a lot of off-roading. You know, all-season tires are typically cheaper and they provide better rolling resistance, so you get better gas mileage on the interstates or just driving in general than you will on all-terrain tires. But once we started to do a lot more off-roading, especially after or during rains, then we knew we needed some all-terrain tires to help our two-wheel drive truck get traction as much as possible. So if you're going to be staying on pavement or you're going to be going off-roading only when it's dry on nice, well-maintained, hard-packed roads, then definitely go with the all-season tires. But if you're going to be going off-roading when, it's going to be raining, like if you're going to be full-time RVing out in the national forest, it's going to rain while you're out there. Go with all-season tires. Oh, and that reminds me of another option actually, and that is the rear differential on your truck. If ours has a locking differential because that helps provide the best traction when under slippery conditions like muddy roads or icy roads, whatnot. So if you're pretty much, I would say, if you're going to be in a situation where you want to have all-terrain tires, then you're probably also going to want to get a truck that has a locking differential than something else. But if you're going to be having all-season tires, then you'll probably be just fine with like a limited slip differential in the back. But that's all for this video. I hoped I helped you guys figure out or narrow down the type of truck that you want to get to tow your travel trailer or fifth wheel. And the truck that we have has worked excellent for us, but unfortunately, we did get the one thing wrong, and that is the drive type we got. Because, how we travel just sort of changed and morphed, and we started pushing the limits of where we could take our truck and our trailer more and more as we just wanted to get further and further out into the middle of nowhere, which is where we love living the most. But that's all for this video. Again, I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Sweetie girl, you want to say bye? Up. Oh, good girl, yeah. Do you want to say bye to everyone? Say bye. Boo. Oh, that wasn't a good bye. That wasn't a bye. Boo. Good girl.